Modern wood waterproofing is a surface problem. The entire industry, the sprays, the sealants, the deck stains, the penetrating finishes, is organized around creating a protective layer on the outer surface of the wood that water cannot pass through. This approach has a fundamental vulnerability that the industry does not discuss prominently. Every surface layer is accessible from the outside, and the outside is where abrasion, UV radiation, mechanical impact, and biological growth continuously work to remove or compromise it. The moment that surface layer is disrupted at any point, a scratch, a crack from thermal cycling, a spot where UV degradation has thinned the film, moisture finds a pathway and the protection that existed everywhere else becomes irrelevant at the breach. The Norse woodworkers who built vessels for the North Atlantic did not have the option of a surface coating approach because the North Atlantic would have removed it within a single voyage. Wave impact, cargo loading, the grinding of ice and dock contact, and the constant mechanical stress of a working vessel in heavy water would have abraded any surface coating to nothing within weeks. The treatment that made Norse ships last for decades of hard use was not on the surface of the wood. It was inside the wood, occupying the cellular interior where no amount of surface abrasion could reach it. The substance that achieved this was pine tar, produced by the destructive distillation of pine wood under heat in the absence of oxygen. Pine tar is not a simple material. It contains several hundred identifiable compounds, phenols, cresols, guaiacol, aromatic hydrocarbons, and a range of long-chain organic acids, that together create a treatment with properties no single compound achieves. The phenolic compounds are toxic to the wood-degrading fungi and marine borers that destroy untreated timber. The long-chain organic acids bond with the lignin in the wood's cellular wall structure, chemically modifying the wood itself rather than simply occupying the space within it. The combined effect of deep penetration and chemical bonding creates a wood material that is fundamentally different from untreated wood in its moisture behavior. Water does not spread across pine tar treated surfaces the way it spreads across untreated wood. The contact angle increases. Moisture beads and runs. The treated wood has learned, at the molecular level, to reject water. Replicating this penetrating, bonding treatment with modern materials means finding the substance that most closely matches the combination of deep penetration and polymerization in place that gave pine tar its longevity. Hope's 100% pure tung oil does this through a more refined chemical mechanism. Tung oil penetrates deeply into wood's cellular structure, more deeply than most modern finish products because it is not formulated with film building agents that stop penetration at the surface, and polymerizes in place through an oxidative cross-linking reaction when exposed to air. The polymerized tung oil inside the wood fiber creates a hydrophobic matrix that occupies the cellular interior and changes the wood's relationship with moisture in the same way the pine tar compounds did. The wood rejects water from within rather than deflecting it from without. That distinction is the entire principle of Viking level wood preservation, and tung oil achieves it correctly where surface coatings cannot. The link is in the description. The Norse treatment did not stop at the oil penetration layer. Pine tar alone left the outermost wood surface with residual porosity, microscopic pathways at grain boundaries and end grain that the bulk treatment had not fully closed. The outer layer of protection was a resinous or waxy material, animal fat, rendered tallow, or natural wax applied over the cured oil treatment to fill those surface pathways and provide a secondary water rejection layer at the outer face. The two layers work together, deep penetration providing the bulk interior protection, surface sealing closing the pathways that deep penetration alone left open. Natural beeswax care spray, micromolecular formula, 2 bottles, is the modern equivalent of that surface sealing layer. The micromolecular specification is what makes it function correctly over the tung oil base. Smaller wax molecules penetrate the residual surface porosity rather than bridging over it, bonding with the outer wood layer rather than sitting on top of it. Applied over cured tung oil, it completes the two-layer system. Interior polymerized oil changing the wood's moisture relationship at the cellular level, surface beeswax closing the outer pathways, that the Norse craftsmen were building with pine tar and animal fat 1,000 years before anyone understood why the combination worked better than either component alone. The link is in the description. The North Atlantic is not a gentle test environment. A treatment that survived it for decades of working vessel use was not marginally adequate. It was fundamentally correct. The principle behind the correctness, penetrate rather than coat, reject from within rather than deflect from without, is as applicable to your fence posts and your woodshop as it was to the longships that crossed an ocean with it. Subscribe to In the Beginning. The product links are in the description. See you in the next one.